what was cool about this story is there was this buck that stepped out, an 8-point stepped out to our right, and that's what made the big buck close the distance. He come up there to whip his tail, and that's how you was able to take that deer.
And I'm pretty sure, and I mean, I have horrible eyesight anyways, and I didn't have glasses or anything, so I was like, "Is that him? Is that him?" You're like, "No, no, no, that's not him. That's not him."
Yeah.
No.
I had to call you off, and what was cool about that is that 8 you took the next year.
Is that? Yeah, you're right. I did.
Mm-hmm. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hunt Experience, episode number 40. Today's a little different. Chris is under the weather. He's been down for like 7 or 8 days. I think he's got the flu, a little pneumonia. He's not feeling the greatest. So we're going to do something a little different today. I actually have a special guest in here today. It is my daughter, Lexi Gann. Lexi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
You doing good?
Mhm.
All right. Well, that's good. So Lexi and I both started at the 1st of February with the workout program. How's that going for you?
It's going.
It's going?
Yeah.
A little sore, a little wore out?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
Well, we're thinking we're going to go on a cruise this year, and that's kind of been our goal, to my old self in shape and then her young self in shape. You've been out of school for a year now, right? Almost?
Yeah, almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year. So that bed's been very friendly to you, and so it's time to get in shape, right?
Yep. I'm tired of being flabby.
Well, I don't know about that, but I wish I was 19. And well, when I was 19, I was probably 150, 160 pounds. Yeah. So I was but I was lifting. I was working out then.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough.
It's been pretty rough?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's expected, I guess. So I want to talk to you today. You've been a part of my hunting for quite a while.
Yeah, since I was like 6.
Yeah, I started taking you early.
Yeah.
But you were really enthusiastic about going because Luke always went. And then, so I set this place up kind of for you and your mom.
Yeah.
And let's see, how old were you, Lex, when you killed your first deer?
I was 8.
You was 8.
Yes.
Okay. And
I vividly remember that.
Yeah, that whole hunt was videoed. And it's kind of went viral for us.
Yeah, for us, it's pretty popular.
It's a pretty popular video, but she was just like full of emotion, just shock and awe, and gotta tell dad. And it was a really, really great video. It's one of my favorites.
I remember the whole experience, like 100%.
Do you really?
Yeah, every bit of it.
Really? So at that time, I was actually in Missouri with Luke, and we were on a youth hunt up there, and youth was the same time here. So your mom took you to what we call the backstand.
Yep.
And buck strolled out there on you, and it was so funny in the video. You're like, all right. She's like, are you on him? Yeah, I'm on him. It's like, shoot him. Boom. And
I can't hear it all.
Yeah, you said, I can't hear at all.
And the funny thing about that is we were literally about to get out because I was like, Mom, I have to go pee. She's like, okay, we'll get out. And then
because it was later in the morning.
Yeah, it was.
Y'all had hunted for several hours, hadn't you?
We'd been, and I think I'd already been asleep 3 times, and and then I was like, Mom, I gotta go pee. And then she's like, okay, let's get out. And then 2 minutes later, that little buck comes strolling out.
Comes strolling out there. And it was Mom's 243, wasn't it? Or no, was it? I think it was, yeah.
I think
believe that's what it was, yeah. And made a good shot on it, and it ended up going 50 yards maybe.
Yeah, it was literally right there.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it went that far.
It was really cool because y'all went and did the recovery footage. And
yeah, I was saying all my weird little kid stuff.
You have all kinds of phrases.
Yes.
You're like, all right, here it is. Congratulations. And then you're like, how are we going to get this thing out of here?
Yeah, how are we going to get this thing out of here?
So, yeah, that was your first one. And what was cool about that day is I ended up taking a really nice buck in Missouri.
I remember that phone call.
Yeah. And then, yeah. And so on the video, we have you talking to me. And what's cool is I was filming Luke was filming me talk to you, and Mom was filming you talk to me,
Mhm.
and then we put that together on the video.
And once we finally put it together, and it was years later before I realized that I was talking, but you couldn't even really hear what I was like, you were saying one thing and I was saying the other. It wasn't really
Yeah,
making sense, and
we
I
were
was like,
just talking over each other.
because the service was so bad back there.
Yeah, it was in and out.
But, yeah, it
And
was
you were like,
funny.
he kicked. He kicked. You
Yeah,
know, that was right after.
we saw the footage.
Yep, he kicked. So
Yeah.
that was your first on camera experience.
You could say I was wowed by it.
Yeah, that was one of your phrases, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
I'm just wowed by it. Anyway, if you follow any of our content, that's on Camel Family Outdoors, and that's one of those videos that just, nothing's made up. It's all real reaction, and she made the video, man. It
And
was awesome.
if I remember correctly, it was the day after Halloween, so I still had all my makeup and everything on, and I was, like, looking all
You was all
scared.
jazzed?
Yes. I don't remember what I was, but
Yeah, me and Luke actually had that conversation. I think it was like he was, like, young, and he started missing all the Halloweens because we went to youth hunt in
Yeah.
Missouri every year during Halloween.
Mhm.
And he's like, "Dad, I like quit having Halloween, like, way early," because we would be, out of town, and, so that's really cool. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite, videos we put together because it told 2 stories in one.
Mhm.
My buck video, your buck video, and we combined them,
Oh.
and it made it kinda cool. Um, so what was it like for you? What was your big draw to it? Was it because I did it and I videoed and you wanted to be a part of that, or you just wanted to get a deer, or
It was probably all of the above, just, like, cause I mean, y'all do it, mom had done it, Luke had killed something, so I was like, "Okay, well, I wanna do it
Yeah, it's
too."
my
Like,
turn,
it's
right?
my turn, and then just the I guess, the adrenaline rush that comes with it, just, like, knowing that you did that yourself, and then there's a reward for it,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
and obviously, I wanted to be on camera, like,
Sure. Yeah. Well,
obviously, but
you have pretty much had a camera in your face
since I was
since that
6,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah, actually
Yeah,
before we had success.
cause I would go with you or mom or whatever, and you'd film all of it, so
Yeah.
we'd have,
Yeah.
like, our little intros and stuff like that.
So fast forward, I'm trying to remember. So both of my kids, what I typically did, especially here, is I'd put you in the spots. I mean, whatever the best spot was, that's where I put you guys because I wanted y'all to experience it and, have the best of what we had to offer.
Not to mention you had your own little stashes to worry about.
I did, yeah, and that's true too. Yeah, I went to several places, and I killed a bunch of deer
Mhm.
during that time, but what's cool is you guys were taking deer also,
Yeah, yeah.
and I remember your first, deer with a gun. Not with a gun, with a,
Crossbow?
crossbow. You remember that? Remember what we called him?
Bimbrow?
Bent brow.
Was it
That's
Bimbrow?
okay, yeah.
Well,
Well, see, you had
yeah.
got him, and then we didn't find him right away,
Mm-mm.
and, we found him later.
No, that wasn't Bimbrow, because
No,
Bimbrow
that's right,
I had shot with the crossbow and made a bad shot, and then I killed him later in the year with the gun.
With the rifle,
Mhm.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's the one, where you dropped him in his tracks.
Yes.
Do you remember
Yep,
that?
I remember that one.
So
I think I cried on that one.
I think you were 10, maybe 10. Does that sound right? 10, 11, maybe?
I think, yeah, 10 or 11 probably.
And that would have been your second deer, right? I think.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. You're right, though. That's exactly what happened
Mhm,
because we had started crossbow hunting that year,
mhm.
and you had shot him, and you shot him a little bit far back, if I remember right. Forward. No, you shot him a little far
But
forward.
yeah.
And then he come out like 3 weeks later with a little bit of a limp, and it was him,
Mhm.
and he was 90 to 100 yards out there, and you just stoned him. Oof,
Yep.
down he
And yeah,
dropped.
and I was so cause whenever I shot him with the crossbow, I got so discouraged, and I get really emotional about that kinda stuff, so I was upset about it, and then whenever
Yeah.
I got the chance to actually kill him, I broke down, I'm pretty sure, cause I'm pretty sure that's on YouTube too.
Yeah, it is. It's another one. It's up there.
Yes.
It doesn't have as many views, but it's really a good video because it continues. Because we have the first hunt where you shot him and we didn't get him,
Mhm.
and then it continues into when you actually got him. So it's kind of cool. And, back then it was about, you getting you an animal. That was the main thing. And
we weren't really focused on big trophy deer yet.
no. And, the main thing was getting you out there and getting you to enjoy it and see what it's about. And you pretty much were hooked after that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, after that, when you were really young, the first one, I think it was kind of a hit or miss. But then once you did that, it was like, Dad, we're going.
We gotta go.
We're going all the time. And you, let's see. So we had some dry years there, just a few. And then we had 2 or 3 years back to back where we put a shot on the animal and didn't find it, which is what you never want.
No, that happened to me too many. Well, it's happened to everybody too many times, but too many times that I'd like to have.
Yeah, well, and part of it wasn't you. What we finally figured out was
it was the crossbow.
The crossbow.
Yes.
It was very loud. It wasn't fast. It was an older crossbow. I think it was a Horton crossbow.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was a little bit off, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it must have been because, I think it was $3 in a row, good bucks, that had come in there that we had shot. And it's, the way our setup is it's mostly in the evenings and it's usually right before dark. Yeah. It's just kind of how it plays out. And so, we didn't have dogs, we didn't have nothing back then. And so we just blood trail and we'd lose it. And then what was it? There was a couple of them. No, mom's deer. And then one of your other bucks showed up later. We found him later.
Yeah. No, I think that was Mom. No, it was.
Yeah, you had one.
You
had one. Mom had one. Mom's was stickers. That deer. She had shot that deer with her compound and didn't get penetration like we wanted because she was only pulling about 52, 53 pounds, and I had an expandable on there, so that's kind of my fault. She shouldn't have been shooting an expandable. But anyway, ended up that deer lived through the winter and then died late winter. So we figured it had something to do with the shot because she made a really good shot, just no penetration. And then yours, it was just like, man, what is going on? And I remember I was like, all right, I'm buying you a new crossbow. We're going to get rid of the old man, crossbow and get you a good one. And then you went on a spree after that.
I did. I think, what was it?
3 or 4 in a row, or was it 3 in a row?
I know it was just
3 in a row.
3, yeah.
Yeah. And you started killing really good deer after that because which one was first? Was Gibberish first? I think he was.
Yeah, my biggest one. Yep.
Yeah. You killed a mid 140s with the crossbow, and that was a really cool story because he came in. You were still. I'm sure you remember that hunt, but he came in at the bottom of the plot down there, pushing a couple of does, and he hung up. And it was getting dark, and it's like, hurry up.
Forever.
And there was this buck. What was cool about this story is there was this buck that stepped out, an 8-point stepped out to our right. And that's what made the big buck close the distance. He come up there to whip his tail, and that's how you was able to take that deer.
And I'm pretty sure, and I mean, I have horrible eyesight anyways, and I didn't have glasses or anything. So I was like, is that him? Is that him? You're like, no, that's not him. That's not him.
Yeah. I had to call you off. And what was cool about that is that 8 you took the next year.
Is that, yeah, you're right. I did.
You took that big. So that 8, pretty sure was a 3-year-old that year. And so you took him as a 4-year-old the following year. And Gibberish, we're almost certain was 5.
Yeah, he was old.
Yeah, he was old. And the thing was, he was a mainframe 10, just a really nice buck. Another cool video, by the way. That was a really good video.
Wasn't it raining? I believe
it was kind of a hazy, misty looking.
I think so because I could barely see, and I was like freaking out a little bit on the shot. But
we literally had a few minutes of light left, and he finally comes up there and gives you the shot. And of course, with the new crossbow, you double lung smoked him. Remember the recovery on that? That was really awesome.
Yes, I do actually. Because
and we're like, look, I said, Lexi, look what you did. And so then you kind of switched your love to, I want the big bucks. I'm going after the big guys after that. And you did, you did 2 other 8s the 2 following years, both 4-year-olds that you took. Turn Down was one of them. And then there was another 8. I can't remember what we called him.
I can't either.
And you went 3 in a row. And then, so you're 3 years dry spell now, right?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, not this year, but last year, I think you passed 4 or 5 bucks,
I
something
did.
like that, and you had this really wide 9-point standing in front of you. He was like 17 wide, just short tined, and I was like, Lexi, it's up to you. He's 3.5. And you're like, no, I don't want to shoot him if he's 3.5. And I said, yeah, he's 3.5. So you passed that deer. He came back this year as a stud 10-point.
Yep.
And we chased him this season. You never had an encounter, right? Did you ever see that deer on the hoof? I don't think you did you?
No, maybe.
Did you see? No, the 11 came out on us. Remember?
Because I'm pretty no, because we went, it was dark and I couldn't see.
Oh, yeah.
But you've seen him on camera.
Oh,
it turns out it was him.
Yeah, I was going to Missouri and you texted me and you're like, what buck is in front of me?
Yep.
And I was
then there was
it's him.
Yeah, and then ended up being like 3, and then I was like stuck in the stand for like 30 minutes because I could not go anywhere.
Yeah.
No, I remember that he did. Yeah, so he
came
did
from the bottom,
but I couldn't see.
Yep, he came from the bottom and stood right in front of you at 22 yards.
Yeah, and
it was too dark.
Yeah, it was past shooting light, and I mean I can't see anyway, so I was like, what deer is that? And I was so mad because like if you would have came out 10 minutes earlier, I would have. Yes, it would have been over. Yes.
And so I remember too, going back to that same buck. I was like, Lex, this is another 10-point mid-40s at least, maybe touching 50, big buck. And I was like, all right, I'm going in the morning. You need to get up. And I got up and looked towards your room and it was dark. And so I went and I ended up shooting that deer and making a bad shot. And I talked about it on the pod before, but I shot him high, kind of in no man's land. And when I was just devastated, I mean, he was perfect, 20, 25-yard broadside. And I gave up hope, how everybody does. I brought a dog in trying to find him and no luck. And then sucker shows back up in like 10 days. And he's back and he stayed all season. So me and you had went another time this year and the big 11 come out, the buck I ended up taking this year, come out from the bottom down there and started our way. He was with an 8, if I remember right, a smaller 8. And he was headed to us and the 8 in front of him stopped and threw his head up, started sniffing the air. And I was like, oh no. And the thing was, it was the thermals because the wind wasn't blowing that direction. But the thermals, man, it was just like they caught us. They busted us. And it was like, oh, we screwed that up.
Yeah, if we would have just kept the windows closed, we probably would have been golden.
Yeah, because we opened the window as soon as they come out. And it was like, oh, man, busted, And so, yeah. So usually you get an opportunity. It's been that way. Golly, it's been that way. Lex, 7, 8 years probably?
Every year.
Yeah, every year you get an opportunity, seems like, or we get busted or something, which we normally out of that stand do not get busted. But
that was a weird.
Yeah, it was just a weird happening. And of course, I was able to take that deer later during gun, I think, and I got him with a muzzleloader. But anyway, you've been a trooper because I've drug you along. You're not a morning person per se.
No, I'm not. When it comes to getting up in the mornings, I struggle.
You struggle.
I struggle bad.
You did some.
I did a few times.
A few, but it's just like I can't do the mornings. But that spot set up for the evenings anyway. You know what I mean? And that's the way it's been. And I've pretty much given you dibs. Because you've been eager and since you were 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, and so you've kind of had the first pick here on the place. And like I said, the year before you passed a bunch of bucks, and I can't remember the year before that what actually happened. I think we had an occurrence with a nice buck, and just he didn't get close enough, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's something
like that.
Yeah.
But I got video on my phone of 2 years ago when I'm videoing behind you with my phone, and you turned and looked at me, and you're like, one more year. And then that was the same morning. I don't know if you remember that or not, but it was like, that was that 9, and he was nice, really nice 9. And then probably 30 minutes later, this really nice 8 steps out, and you're looking down that crossbow at him, And you just looked at me and shook your head like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
I said, Lexi, it's going to be a really cool story because there's a good chance these bucks will come back next year. Well, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah. The 10 I shot, he got away, but the 10's still here. The 9 point that was the 8 point the year before you had passed. We had him early, and then he cut out.
Like he just disappeared.
I don't know if
that happens.
Yeah, it does. I don't know if somebody took him. I know the neighbor was getting pictures of him for a while, but and then the 11 point that I had taken was actually a buck that was here 2 years prior.
Yeah, we figured that out, didn't we?
2 years prior on some video footage, and he had blew up into a really nice 11, and then for whatever reason, me and you both have the luck as they break off antlers right before we take them.
I know. Wasn't
Your
that
gibberish
Yes.
was the beautiful,
oh my gosh.
perfect
And then
10.
you freaking broke off that one.
I know. And it was like,
I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
yeah, that deer was middle. I think he was 145-ish, and he had broke off like 3 or 4 inches. So he'd have been almost 150, and it's like, dang it.
Yeah.
And then that 11 I killed this year, he broke off an entire like 7-inch eye guard. And it's like, you got to be kidding me, man. What's y'all's problem?
You're not supposed to be doing that. No.
You're not playing the game here.
No, you're not doing exactly what we want.
Exactly. And it's, me and Chris talk about it a lot. This place is kind of, it's slowed a little bit as far as numbers. And I don't really know why, other than there's a lot of pressure around us now.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's kind of in the hunting game now. We were the family that was doing all the hunting before, pretty much had it, one neighbor, and now there's like every other neighbor's hunting.
Yeah,
so
everybody's doing it. But we usually get a pretty good crop of does.
Yeah.
Usually.
No, we've usually, and with the plots, and what we do, our setup is we have a permanent stand that we get in, and it's tucked back in the woods, and we're pretty much hunting a staging area before you go into the food plot below. And that that's worked great. And it's, like I said, it's primarily that evening. Then there has been a bunch of good morning hunts there too, but it's just a setup that's worked. And then we're really good and able to get in and out with deer in there.
Yes,
and,
quietly.
Yeah. And, I don't know how many times me and you have slipped out of there and there'll be a field full of deer.
Yeah, and they won't even know.
They don't even know we were there because we got our access all covered in. Trails always raked out.
It's quiet.
And so, and then have you even hunted the back stand at all? I don't think you have you?
No, I did not get a chance to hunt back there this year, but there wasn't really
a whole lot of action.
Yeah, no, they, I think a few bucks were back there a couple of nights, but it wasn't.
That 11,
often.
That 11 that's where I killed him, is in that back stand. And that's the first deer we've taken out of that stand. Yeah. And so I never really put you out there because your thing is early season. That's when you shine.
Yeah.
And you like the warm. You don't like to be cold.
Yeah, no, I don't like to be cold.
Don't like the mornings, don't like the cold. But
which does mean that's not really a typical hunting standpoint.
Well, yeah, if you'll remember, you wanted to experience real hunting.
Oh, gosh.
And so I took you
I remember that.
to Missouri with me.
What was it, 1 year?
Yep, 1 year you went. I took both of y'all. And I threw you into what we normally do.
Yeah, you had me carry a stand and everything.
You carried a stand. We had a heater bodysuit. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Luke Brewer's heater bodysuit we borrowed. And we hiked all the way in. I didn't take it easy on you at all. No. And I was like, all right, Lex, you want the real experience. This is what we normally do. And we hiked in there. We seen some deer, but we ended up not taking anything.
Yeah.
And then the hike out for you was horrible. You remember?
I partly remember because I think I was about to die. You had to take the stand away from me and everything. I was like, Dad, I can't do this.
You told me, you said, Dad, this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done. How old was I? I think I was like 14.
13, 14 probably?
13 or 14.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Yeah, I think I was 14.
Well, that was, let's see. Yeah, because the following year would have been Luke's last year to go. So you were 13, 14 in there somewhere. But you didn't want any more of that after that.
No, I did. I never went back again. I remember that.
So cold weather. We climbed trees, hiked in stands. We did a real deal. And, it's not for everybody.
No, it's not. It's definitely not for me. Oh, that reminds me. Didn't we? We went to Like, the first day this year when I went hunting, we climbed a stand. You remember that?
Where did I take you?
Too many grandpas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
because there was
I had 7 different bucks coming.
yeah, you had, like, 2 or 3 nice
Yes.
bucks in there, and then that freaking doe
Yes, the
was
does come out.
literally circling us. I completely forgot all about that.
I did too until you just mentioned it. So, yeah, we went in there, and I was like, "All right, Lex, we gotta play this right because we're gonna get one shot at this because it's not a spot where you can get out of
Yeah, exactly.
without bumping deer." And so we get in there, we get in the same climber together.
Yeah, it was
It was a little tight in there. We had the crossbow set up, and I stood behind you and filmed, and we just, I think it was like hour and a half before dark, we started getting deer, and I was like, man, it could happen. It
Yeah.
can go down because we were after a big wide 9-point, and then there was another really nice 8-point in there, and I can't remember what the other buck was. There was 3 different
I don't know, but
dandies,
yeah. Mhm.
and so I remember we're sitting there. Well, here comes this like old gray doe.
Yeah, she was huge too.
Massive old gray doe. And I told Lex, I said, this is not good.
No.
We have a bunch of time before dark. This is not good. And what did she do? She comes straight to us. And then she caught our trail where we had walked in, and she played CSI investigator the entire time.
But she never once spooked, I don't think.
But
she never figured it out. She never figured it out, but she knew something was up, but she couldn't get us.
Yep. And then, so we're hanging out. It's getting dark. And we start hearing something coming. You remember that?
Yes.
And here comes the 3 big bucks in a line, and you can't see through because, inside the woods there, we're in a canopy.
Yeah.
And it's just covered. And I was like, Lex, there he is. That's him right there. That's him. And you're just like, I can't see him.
Can't see him. That is one of the worst, for me, hunting, that is one of the worst feelings.
Just
when I can't see.
Can't
and
see it.
Like normal people probably would you probably would have been able to see.
Yeah.
But I was not wearing my glasses that day. I don't think I had gotten them yet. And
you have a night vision thing anyway, kind of messes with your eyes.
Yes, I can't see. I cannot. I'm like, because mom's like that too. I cannot see at night to save my life. So I was like, I can't see. And
so he's broadside, Lex. He's broadside.
Yeah, I know.
He's 30 yards. He's broadside. You sure? I can't find him.
And the way my vision is I can't see very good out of my left eye at all. So that's the eye I shoot with because I'm left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it just makes for a very bad situation for me.
So then we have to just pretty much sit there and watch these deer and wait to try to get out of there without getting busted. And we got out pretty clean, I think.
I think so.
I think we may have, bumped a few deer.
Yeah.
But that scenario, I knew going in, we had to do it that night because if we didn't do it that night, there was going to be a good chance it was all going to change because we had been in there. And see, nobody had been in that spot. I'd left it be. It's really thick in there. It's kind of a thicket area. And we ended up seeing 12 deer.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a 12 deer set.
I remember I was talking to one of my friends or something, or I posted on my story on Snapchat. I was like, I hate deer so much. I was so mad because because them does or whatever were circling us, and then those stupid deer didn't come out until dark, which that's what usually happens. But a few minutes earlier.
Well, she was down there stomping, she never blew, but she was down there like stomping, and, she had the rest of, I think there was 5 does with her, and they were all freaked out.
Yeah. They were all like searching, like, Miss Girl,
what are you doing?
Go away.
Go away.
You're ruining things.
I'll bet you money that's what caused those bucks to come out a few minutes later than they would have because she was all, she was freaking out.
Yeah. She's like, what's going on in my woods?
So that was probably one of the few times you would have taken a doe. I remember she made you mad.
She would. I was like, I'm about to shoot this thing. She's got to go.
But anyway, I totally forgot about that.
I did too until we were talking about whatever we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because we were talking about being in the stand. I was like, we did that this year.
Yeah, and that's you hadn't done that in a few years. You hadn't climbed. You hadn't been with me. I don't know that we've ever been in a stand together, but we were probably 15 feet up, and It was a pre-hung deal. And
Yeah.
we kind of slipped in there. We got in good, and I was like, all right, it's either going to happen or it's not. And
Yeah.
they were all over us, but then we slipped out of there. But so yeah, I'd forgot about that. You'd actually had a really good occurrence there. We almost made that happen.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I am almost for certain that was the first time, like, I had went for that year.
Yeah, yeah. Because that was the thing about that spot, and we stayed out until it was absolutely right,
Mhm.
and the wind had shifted, and I was like, "We got to go. If you want to go in there, there's several good bucks in there." And then, didn't that the rest of the year that spot didn't produce really. I mean, I don't even think I hunted it at
I
all.
don't think you did either.
Mm-mm. And then, like I said, we had a few bucks here that we went after for a while, and you had the 9 point or the 11 point occurrence. But other than that, that was pretty much about it.
Yeah, and I remember, like, we were hunting hard too there for, like, a month.
You hunted a bunch.
I did.
Yeah, I think you hunted this year more than you've ever because you hadn't killed a deer in a few years, and you're like, I'm getting one this year.
Antsy, yeah,
and they just never panned out.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Oh yeah, you know how it is.
Yep.
We're big. I'm a big food plotter, and I'm a big access guy, and we've had a lot of success there doing that. And I think it's cool because, I mean, here you are, a 19-year-old girl, and you're chasing bucks, and you're ticked because he didn't show. And,
Yeah.
there's not many 19-year-old girls that say
Yeah,
that.
I've had my share of people be like, "You hunt?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I'm a hunter.
Making the boys my age a little jealous.
Yeah, well, I think you're probably intimidating because some of the bucks you got on the wall are
Yeah.
most guys are probably not gonna take,
Yeah.
No,
they're like, what is that? Like, I have them hanging up in my bedroom, so.
Yeah, how many so what do you got, 6 or 7?
I think 6.
6.
Because I have two little ones and then bent brow, and then I have that, what is it? My, European mount.
Yep.
And then I have another one over there.
Then you have straight 8, and then bent brow.
Yes, that's what
Straight
it was.
8.
And then I have gibberish hanging up in the living room.
And straight 8, yeah, gibberish is he made the big front room.
He made the big.
Yep. Straight 8 was the buck that had come out on gibberish, and you took him the next year.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's right. And then bent brow was the one we gave you so much trouble because you neck shot bent brow. You remember that?
Yes. Also, what was the other one I did?
You made a good shot on.
I know I made a good
straight
shot.
8.
Was it the last one I killed? I neck shot, but he still died. No, that wasn't bent brow.
Oh, I mean not bent brow. Turn down.
Turn down.
Yeah.
Yes, it was turn down. I made
a
horrible shot.
I was
on
like,
him.
Lexi, are you on him? Yeah, I'm on him. And it was like, and then I was like, what happened? And you're like, I have no idea.
I don't know. I may have jumped or something. I mean,
he didn't go nowhere.
No, he still died.
Yeah.
I remember because Chris still gives me crap about that. He's
Chris
like, you remember when you didn't? Yeah, I do.
Remember when you neck shot that buck with the bow? It's like, yeah, we remember that. But, so I've enjoyed it over the years, me and you. I mean, that's something we look forward to. And I remember telling you, I was like, okay, when you get married and settle down, what are you going to do? And you're like, I'm coming over here to hunt.
Yeah, duh.
Like, what are you talking about?
Either that or you're going to build me a place wherever I'm living.
Yeah, and have your spot set up for you. Yeah.
Hopefully my future husband likes to hunt.
Well, that's what you need to be looking for.
I know.
And I think that's kind of rare these days. Or it's rarer than it used to be.
Yeah.
Country boys used to be everywhere, and I think they're few and far between now.
Well, maybe not around here, but
yeah,
they're just not
good country boys.
Yeah, they're country boys, but good.
Yeah, I have. I probably hadn't helped in that a whole lot for you.
No, you probably haven't.
No, I'm sure I've run off a large number.
Probably, but
that's my job.
But they weren't all countries.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Nope.
Well, I appreciate you coming in here today again.
I had so much fun.
Yeah, I hope Chris is getting better. I talked to him earlier today, and he's back to where almost normal, but he still can't hardly speak a sentence without coughing. So we're going to give him some time, and I wanted to get this. I didn't want to leave us hanging. We didn't do one last week because of his sickness, and then he's not quite over it yet, so wanted to get you in here to get your take.
It was about time, but I was a little embarrassed. 'cause I haven't killed a deer in 3 years, and that's what this channel's about, so I was like,
No, you got so much history,
Yeah.
you know, and a lot of good memories, good times, a lot of good videos. We got a bunch of good videos.
Lots and lots of videos.
Yeah. So, well, that was it, guys. Thank y'all for listening. Thanks, Lex, for being here.
Thank you. Make sure you, tune into us 'cause we're pretty fun.
We're a fun family,
We're a
huh?
fun family, yep.
Yeah, I know Christopher's pretty fun, and we have a good time with the hunting stuff. And
Mhm.
yeah, if you want to see Lexi's videos, go to Camel Family Outdoors. She's got a whole
I have
segment.
I have a whole playlist.
And you have a whole playlist
Yep.
and it starts from 10 years old up.
And 8 years old.
8 years old.
Yeah,
That's right.
my embarrassing little video that for some reason got more views.
Yeah, it's a must watch.
Yeah.
If you're into hunting and you like kids' reactions, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's, pretty weird.
We're all pretty weird.
We're all
So.
pretty weird, yeah.
Well, guys, we want to thank y'all for listening today. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.